Hi, I want to share with you a report. Back to the reports. This is a report that I like to use. It was created with one of my dealerships specifically in mind. The service manager, he likes the program, he believed in it, but he always had a doubt in the back of his mind that he was giving the farm away. And he, when we talked, he wanted something that he could see that just kind of reassured him that he wasn't going overboard. So I found this report and I created this for him. And what I've also found is that the information that I got from him helped me out with other dealerships. I could share the dollar amount information with him. So in this particular case, where I go is, again, I go into reports. Now the report that I'm looking for this time is I want the transaction activity report. And I want to look at, I choose a month. I tend to do a month at a time, so I click on the calendar. I want 2011, but I want March. Go to March, click on the first day of the month. Now my end date is going to be the last day of the month. So I go to the 31st, run my report, open it. Now what's going to happen, an eye chart. You've got all this information, and a lot of this I'm not going to use. So it goes into Excel. On my version of Excel, the first thing I do is I click the first line. I want to, again, go in and format cells, hit alignment. I want to wrap that data so it goes more into manageable columns. Hit OK. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to freeze those frames. So I go into my first line of data, click on that first cell, then I go to Windows, and I want to freeze my panes. The reason that I do this is then the category titles remain stagnant. So I always have those in the top category. Now I want to go through and I want to get rid of information that I don't need for this report right now for what my objective is. And again, the objective that I'm going for, and I should probably clarify, is I want to see how many redemptions that they're doing, how much their redemptions that they're doing. Then I'm going to have their cashier go through and fill out the RO amount before the redemptions. That'll give me a ratio and some kind of idea. But I want to create something that she can work with. So don't need to know departments, station employee numbers, or employee ID. So I just go ahead and go in, and on those columns, I'm going to hide them. But then I want to click out here. I do want my activity date. I want the customer's last name, first name. Don't need their card number at this point because I can look up anything that I wanted to via the customer's name. So I don't want to waste the space. So that column, I want to hide that. I do want the card expiration date. I like looking at that. I also want the RO number. I like to put that in the center. It just makes it a little easier to read. I want the transaction type. I want the transaction description, I want the reason, I want the amount, and I want the customer paid pay column. Anything else, your notes, corrections, all of that information, I just highlight those columns, go up to Format, Columns, and hide them. Now I'm working with my main report that I want. I've already freeze my categories. I then go up into the first line of data. Again, now I want to do a data sort. So I go into Data, Sort, and I want to go towards, I want my first one to be my transaction type. And then I'll do a second sort in there by transaction description. What that does is that puts it down into lumps of categories, and such this customer lookup and other don't need that. So I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of all of that. A lot of customers. Oops, there's redemptions. So all those others, just go through, format, rows, and hide them. Now I've got all my redemptions. Don't need the rewards. All that's information at this time that I can get off of the dashboard. So I just rows and then hide. So the only information I've got on this particular report now are my redemptions. Go down here to the very bottom, click on the cell. Right? Now we want to go through and I want to do an auto sum. So I hit the auto sum right there. Come down here to the bottom, then highlight all those that I want to add. And it gives me $1,498. I want to then highlight that, and I want to change that into currency. Format cell, number, currency. So now it shows $1,498.69. I then print this report, save it and print this report, and I give this again to the cashier or the service manager, and then have the cashier go through at her leisure and fill this out. Then we can come back and we can, add up our numbers to find out how much they're actually making in customer pay and the redemption amount. What I've found is that it's such a significant amount more. You can get what their average, customer pay is before they get an amount. So it's great information. It's a great start, and it's a great way to help overcome some objections. Thanks.